Hello, students. Sahiti, Hansini, only two are present today. Sahiti, put your camera on. Okay. So yesterday we have started about cattle farming, right? In the cattle farming, we discussed about the types, breeds, the farm management techniques, and then food requirements of cattle. And today we end the cattle farming by discussing diseases. So diseases in cattle. So what are parasites, students? What parasites are? Please answer. Sahiti and Hansini. What are
They are
parasites?
destructive organisms
Okay.
that reduce the yield,
That reduce the?
the crop.
No. Parasites I'm asking. You could have.
Ma'am, they live on hosts and they get like their nutrients or water from like minerals from the hosts.
So parasites are the organisms which depend on the living organisms. Okay. So as you told host, Sahiti, it is correct. And that host must be living. Okay. So it feeds on the living organisms. So those are called as parasite. Like example, lice, mites. So those are the example. So if you take the diseases in cattle we can see that parasites are the diseases are caused due to parasites, and parasites are of two types. One is external parasite. The next category is internal parasite. So what are external parasites? Like which are present on the body, okay, on the skin, and they cause skin diseases. So first category is external parasite. So they live on the skin. They live on the skin and cause skin diseases. And cause skin diseases. So examples are lice, mites, etc. So these are the external parasite. Coming to the internal parasite, which are present inside the body. So mostly you can see these are present in the stomach or in the intestine, and they damage the liver. Okay, and flukes are the ones which damage the liver. Okay, so next category is internal parasite. So what are internal parasites? So they include worms that affect intestine, stomach, and flukes that damage the liver. Okay, so examples of internal parasites are which live inside. So yeah, you can take example of the flukes which we mentioned here. Okay, please make a note.
Done, ma'am.
Both of you done?
1 minute.
Yeah, Hansini, right.
Done.
Okay. Okay, so we are done with cattle farming. So next concept is poultry farming. So what is poultry farming? It is the rearing of domestic fowl. So why do we rear? Because for eggs as well as for the meat. Okay, that is chicken meat. So poultry farm, it is the rearing of domestic fowl for the production of eggs and chicken meat. Okay, so if you consider poultry boards, so we can talk like two terms here. One is layers and second one broilers. So layers are those are like raised for the purpose of eggs and broilers for the meat. Okay, so we can classify poultry breeds into two poultry breeds into two categories. One is layers, second one broilers. So layers are used for like egg laying. These are egg laying birds. Whereas broilers are for the meat. Okay, meat producing birds. So these are the two categories of breeds of poultry. Done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next one, how can we improve poultry breeds? So in the last class also we have seen when we discussed about cattle farming. In cattle farming, to get like good varieties, to get like good product, good characters of varieties of cattle. So what we are doing a crossbreed between the Indian breed and the foreign breed. So what the Indian breed, what is the feature of Indian breed? It is like highly resistant to the diseases, whereas foreign breed is it gives like good milk production. Okay, so if these are crossbreed, okay, if these are crossbred, in that case you get the whatever the offspring you get, so that is having both the desired characters. So in the same way you can do here also. So to improve poultry breeds for the improvement, so we generally do crossbreeding between Indian and the Indian breed and the foreign breed. So when we do this, so we get like good characters. So what characters we can expect here? So the birds, the poultry breeds can um, get like resistant to the temperature, so they get capacity to tolerate the high temperature, and the quantity and quality of the chicks increases, the egg laying capacity increases, the meat production increases. So dwarf boiler parent for commercial chick production. So all these are the certain improvements you can see when you crossbreed the Indian breed with the foreign breed. Okay, so let's write measures taken to improve poultry breed. measures taken to improve poultry breed. So what we are doing crossbreeding between Indian variety and the foreign variety. So Indian varieties are called as Asil, whereas foreign variety is called as Leghorn. Okay, so these two are crossbred. Okay. Further improvement of poultry breeds crossbreeding is done successfully between Indian, which is Asil, okay, and exotic, which is called as Leghorn, okay, breeds. So these are the breeds of Indian and the foreign. Okay, so these are like crossbred. So what are the features? What are the desirable traits we get? It's done successfully between these to get desirable traits like first quality and quantity of chicks increases. Next, dwarf broiler parent per. So dwarf broiler parent is used for commercial chick production, for commercial chick production. Okay. Next, summer adaptation capacity. So these are the certain desirable features which are opted when crossbreeding is done between Indian variety and the exotic variety. So what is the Indian breed called as? It is Asil, whereas exotic breed is Leghorn. Hansini and Venkat Rudra, put your cameras on.
Ma'am, my cam is not working.
Why, Venkat Rudra?
Don't know, ma'am. It showed an error today, even in the previous class. I will try to get it set by tomorrow.
See, more than you, I'm using Zoom for like a lot of years, and even the system I'm using. I never face such problem of camera.
Ma'am, I don't know why it showed an error, but it showed an error even in the previous class.
Okay. Please sort out.
I'll try to sort it out by tomorrow.
Yeah. Done?
Done.
Okay, so still there are desirable traits. So third one is summer adaptation capacity. And then we can discuss low maintenance requirements. Next, reduction in the size of egg-laying bird with the ability to utilize more fibrous and cheaper diets. Reduction in the size of egg-laying bird with the ability to utilize more fibrous and cheaper diets. So whatever the diet which is given, so that diet, it is mostly the agricultural byproduct. Okay. So when you do agriculture, so whatever the byproducts you get, that can be used to feed these egg-laying birds. So this diet is formulated using agricultural byproducts. Please write down. So these are the improvements you can see when you crossbreed. Done, students? Please answer.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, so here what we discussed, there are two types like layers and the broilers. So what layers are used for? Please tell me why layers are raised for?
Egg laying.
Yeah, so for egg production. For broilers are used for?
Meat production.
Yeah, meat production. So as broilers are needed for the meat production, these birds are given like very good food, like which is nutrient rich in vitamins, mostly vitamin A and vitamin K level is maintained high. Okay, and later after raising them, so these are supplied to markets for the meat purpose. Okay, so when you compare the broilers and layers, so those nutrient requirement is different, and then their housing is different, their environment is different. So they yeah. Am I audible now, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the broilers and egg layers, they are both going to have like different nutrient requirements, different housing, different environment requirements. So their requirements are completely different. So let's write about eggs and broilers production. Okay. So broiler chickens are fed with vitamin A and K rich food for good growth. Okay. And you have to take care of that when you are raising them. That is, you should prevent them from dying. So you have to decrease the mortality rate. Mortality is nothing but the death rate. What is mortality? Mortality is death rate. So care has to be taken to avoid the death rate, and you have to maintain like proper feathering quality. Even the feather quality has to be maintained. Okay, care is taken to avoid mortality and to maintain feathering quality. Okay. And these broilers are sent to the markets for what, students? For meat purpose. Are sent to market for meat purpose. And these broilers and egg layers, their nutrient requirements are different. Their shelter is going to be different. Housing is different. So let's write that point. Broilers and egg layers have different housing, nutritional and environmental requirements. Please make a note. Done, students?
Done, ma'am.
Sahiti Venkatrudra, done?
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. So next one, again, form management measures. So what are the management techniques we are using for the poultry boards? So whatever the place you are going to select, that should have proper ventilation. Okay, proper shelter should be given to the birds and clean it. It should be clean, hygiene, and the temperature is maintained. Optimum temperature is maintained for their growth, and you have to prevent like you have to prevent them from the diseases and the pests during their growth. Okay, so let's write form management for poultry birds. Okay, so what we have to take proper, what we have to do, proper cleaning and sanitation of the shelter. Next point, maintenance of temperature and hygiene in the shelter. And hygiene in the shelter. Next, proper ventilation. Next, prevention and control of diseases and pests. Prevention and control of diseases and pest. So these are certain management techniques, form management techniques. Done, students?
Done.
Okay. And there are diseases again, which we are going to learn in the in the next class. So it is similar to the cattle farming, students. What we have discussed, we discussed like the types of breeds, okay, and then what we have to do for their improvement, their type of feed, and then farm management. At last are diseases. So let's discuss them again. So we started with diseases in cattle. So diseases in cattle are caused by the external parasite and internal parasite. External parasites, they live on the skin and they cause skin diseases. So examples are lice, mites, etc. Whereas internal parasites, they include worms that affect intestine, stomach, and flukes that damage the liver. So these are internal parasites. So next we started poultry farming. So it is the rearing of the birds for the production of eggs and the meat. So poultry breeds are classified into two categories, that is layers and the broilers. Layers are the egg-giving animals and the broilers are meat-producing animals, meat-giving. And what are the measures are taken to improve the poultry breed? So generally we do a crossbreeding between successfully Indian and the foreign breeds. So Indian breed is Asil and the foreign breed is Leghorn. What characters we get? So we can improve like quality and the quantity of the chicks. And then dwarf boiler parent is also giving you the commercial chicks. And then summer adaptation capacity. What is summer adaptation capacity? That is a tolerance to the temperature of summer. That is high temperature. Excuse me. Then low maintenance requirements. Then reduction in the size of the egg laying bird with the ability to utilize more fibrous and cheaper diets. So the diet, whichever is formulated, which is nothing but the agricultural byproducts. And then broiler chickens are given highly nutritious food, which is rich in vitamin A and K. And these broilers are sent to the markets for the meat. And you have to take care to avoid mortality and whatever the broilers and egg layers are there. So you are raising them, then you have to maintain like different environment, different nutritional requirements have to be given to them. Okay. Next, farm management techniques. In this, we have to keep the clean and sanitation of the shelter, and the temperature has to be maintained, proper hygiene has to be maintained, then proper ventilation, then prevention and control of diseases and pests. So these are the farm management techniques of poultry birds. Let me know if you have any question before we wind up the session. Please, students, why you're not answering? Any questions?
No doubt, ma'am.
Okay, then we can end session for today. See you in the next class.